Hey, Fazil here once again, and unfortunately today it's not really good news. It is really sad news that the assassinations and murders of people power and NUP activists has taken a new turn today. One of our comrades, a chairman, like a district chairman of Kayunga. For those of you who don't come from Uganda, of course, we have, district chairman. It's like a mayor of a particular town or a particular district. Was found dead, hanging on a tree with a rope in his neck. Now, I don't want to show you the images here because they are too graphic, and I respect some of my people that they wouldn't like to see such kind of things. But the gentleman you see down there, his name is Ffefeka Serubogo Muhammad, and he had contested in his district known as Kayunga a couple of times, like 3 or 4 times, but for all those times he was unsuccessful. Not until Bobi Wine came and he joined the People Power movement as well as the NUP, and worked with Bobi Wine tirelessly in his district of Kayunga, canvassed votes for him, and Bobi Wine won overwhelmingly in that particular district. And after a couple of false starts in his quest to become the district chairman of Kayunga, his previous attempt before he was found dead, he managed to win that particular seat. Now, Ffefeka Serubogo, we know very well that the region where he lives, and the region where he has been a chairman, has been ravaged by land grabbers. Land grabbers are people who come in a particular area and then they literally just take over your land. Most of these people have connections with the first family, that is Museveni, and they also have connections within the State House as well as the SFC. Even someone who just mops a floor, or people who clean toilets in State House, because they have that link of State House, they can literally just come and grab your land. So Kayunga is one of those areas where land grabbing is very, very rampant. And in Uganda, the people who grab land are the people within the government and the people who have really, really stolen from this country, and they really want some big, nice portions in particular areas of the country. And Kayunga is one of those particular areas. Now, Ffefeka Serubogo, unfortunately, he had become chairman, and he was renowned for his fight against land grabbers. Those are the few things that we know about Ffefeka Serubogo. Now, definitely, like all NUP people who have been dying, there is no first report. I mean, for the very first time, there is the Uganda police broke a record. Investigators, homicide detectives, they broke a record for the very first time. You see, whenever it comes to NUP people who are being killed, there are no investigations that take place. No. It is straightforward that, oh, this person, that's an accident. Oh, this person, that one was in harm's way. Oh, that one, no, that is collateral damage. Solved, case done, closed, bang, gone. Why? But why is it that when they shoot at Katumba Wamala, investigations will take years? When they shoot Chirumira, investigation will take years. When another person dies, investigations will take like years and years and years, and so many people will be arrested. But when an opposition person dies, case closed. That one's done. Bye-bye. Case closed. All the cases for opposition candidates are literally closed. When they murdered Kayuma Yasin, Bobi Wine's driver in Arua, the case was closed. They said, they attacked the presidential motorcade. They threw stones at the presidential motorcade without any evidence. Without any evidence. Now, Bobi Wine released a message saying, this morning, he said, this morning we woke up to the This morning, we woke up to incredibly sad and shocking news of the sudden death of our NUP member and chairman of Kayunga District Local Government, Comrade Ffefeka Serubogo Muhammad. He was found hanging on a tree. For now, we are getting mixed messages from people on ground, with many saying he might have been murdered. And as a cover-up, hung on the tree. He has been very vocal against corruption and land grabbing in Kayunga. We hope investigations will be done independently to establish the real cause of these shocking incidents. Now, that's the gentleman Ffefeka Serubogo. Now, what is interesting is that police, because he was found with a rope in the neck and he was found in the tree, so the police was like, actually, this is suicide. No doubt. This is suicide. Afande Eperokomorot, detective homicide. Afande Eperokomorot must have been drunk or sleeping somewhere in one of those shacks and dinghies where they drink from their mara. He comes with his stomach. Yeah, this is hanging. This is suicide. Done. That's the suicide. Let us go. Case solved. Suicide. Call NBS, call Nile Post, call all those news media. Tell them that this NUP candidate, it was suicide. Just like Rita Nabukenya, it was it is the bike that knocked the police vehicle, and Rita Nabukenya was crushed to death. Just like what's this other guy's name? The one who was murdered in Nansana. Oh, that one. No. He knocked the police vehicle. It is not the police vehicle that knocked him. Those are the kind of statements that we get from these so-called detectives that are found Eporokoromot, who sleep in dinghies and then they wake up in the morning and then they come out and they are drunk and they are brought on the crime scene to solve a crime, and straightforward, it is hanging. So they called their news agencies that they are connected to in order to spin the story and to run the story. Now, one of the news agencies is called Nile Post. The other one is called Chimp Reports and all those other news agencies. Kayunga LC5 chairman Serubogo was not killed. He committed suicide. Police have dismissed claims that there was some foul play in the death of the newly elected Kayunga District LC5 local chairman. Now, Serubogo's lifeless body was found on Tuesday morning, found by a relative hanging on a tree near his home, which many have concluded as suicide. Locals and relatives have since concluded that the newly elected LC5 chairman on the opposition NUP ticket was killed and body hanged on a tree. However, according to the Police Criminal Investigations Division spokesperson Charles Twine, preliminary investigations have indicated that the deceased committed suicide. Quote, the postmortem done by the 3 senior surgeons and 1 independent doctor provided by the family of the late Ffefeka Serubogo in the presence of the brother of the deceased and the LC5 vice chairman indicated that the late Serubogo committed suicide, Twine said in a statement. The postmortem indicated he was killed by hypoxia. Hypoxia, which is a deficiency of oxygen in the body tissues. It is what kills all those who commit suicide. A search on the internet shows that hypoxia is a condition where not enough oxygen makes it to the cells and tissues in the body. This can happen even though blood flow in the normal, and hypoxia can lead to many serious, sometimes life-threatening complications. Quote, the postmortem was done with participation of the family doctor and in presence of the deceased brother Abubeka Kikubo and the LC5 vice chairman Joel Kaita, Twine said. Earlier, several people, especially Kayunga district residents, family members and opposition leaders had pointed to foul play in the death of the newly elected LC5 chairman. Many said that his stance towards fighting corruption and land grabbing could have led to his problems. Kampala Lord Mayor Elias Lukwago Wednesday asked police to thoroughly investigate Serubogo's instant death and come up with a report. He insisted that there are questions surrounding the death. I'm in shock. That is the mayor, Lukwago. Now, I don't understand what sort of journalism is this. But brothers and sisters, I don't think that this is real journalism. Anyway, Daily Monitor also released the story. Newly elected Kayunga LC5 chairman dies, body found hanging on a tree. You see, different news agencies, different stories. Now, of course, the police released the report that says it was homicide, and I'm going to come to the analysis because we need to look at who Serubogo was. The newly elected chairperson of Kayunga District, Ffefeka Serubogo, has died. Ms. Helen Chomuhendo, the acting Mukono District Police Commander, told the journalists that Serubogo's body was found this morning by his relatives, hanging on a tree near his home. He is suspected to have committed suicide on Tuesday night. Police have currently cordoned off his home to establish the facts behind his death. Serubogo, a member of the National Unity Platform, was last month sworn in as the district's chairperson, replacing Tom Seranga. He contested against Andrew Mayong of the NRM party, Thomas Muwanga, Boniface Musisi, and Fred Semyala, as well as Patrick Sempija and Don Wamboka. Now, a couple of points to take away. Now, this is the time to break things down, right? Now, if at all someone wants to murder Serubogo, you can easily put a rope in his head, around his neck, and lift his body, drop him dead, hang him, and trip the chair, make him stand on a chair, put a rope around his neck, put it on the tree, and then trip the chair, and he will die, right? By hanging, number one. Number two, there is a possibility, because the police and the post-mortem surgeons, they say that he died as a result of hypoxia. Now, hypoxia happens when there is a deficiency of oxygen. Now, that deficiency is caused, they say, by for them, they think deficiency of oxygen is only caused by hanging. But when I read about hypoxia on the internet as well, deficiency of the oxygen by way of hanging can be replicated through strangulation. We all know this thing that we call it akabadia in Uganda, whereby you can hold someone by your arm like this, right? And then you put this in their neck. You can either put them to sleep, or you can easily break their neck, or you can a chokehold position. I think it's called the chokehold, right? You can easily kill them off completely in that position. And then you can put a rope around them and then hang them. Now, this is the issue that I have with these people. This really shows that we do not have any investigators. This really shows complete foul play that involves the police, that involves the chairman, and that might have involved some people close to this gentleman known as Serubogo. The first person on the crime scene, Serubogo's brother, he should be questioned. But they didn't question him, only they went with him to perform the post-mortem. Now, let us establish a few facts according to eyewitnesses and according to family members. They say, as a Muslim, because Serubogo is a Muslim, Serubogo woke up very early in the morning at around 6 to go to the mosque and pray. For those of us who have seen the pictures, he was wearing a green tunic going to the mosque. Now, the path that he uses to go to the mosque, that is where he was found hanging. So he left, told the wife, bye-bye, I have gone to the mosque to pray. This early morning prayer that we pray, that is called Subuh. Now, it is between him leaving the house, because he did not reach the mosque. They did not see him at the mosque. And the people at the mosque were wondering, oh, Serubogo is not here. Then all of a sudden, the brother comes and finds the body hanging. Now, this really brings a lot of questions to us. By the lady saying that Serubogo was going to the mosque to pray, it means a few things. It means Serubogo was a practicing Muslim. Serubogo was a religious person. Not only Muhammad by name, but Muhammad in practice. Now, as a Muslim, we need to understand, because you cannot say a Muslim died of pork poisoning. Does it make sense? No. Now, this is it. Number one, what would be the reason as to why? What would be Serubogo's motive to hang himself? Did he have any loans? None. Did he have anyone demanding him money? No. Did he have any family problems? No. They did not establish any of that. But simply, he hanged himself, committed suicide. Case closed. Second thing, as a Muslim, we are not allowed to hang ourselves. And a person who was going to the mosque could not, absolutely not, have hanged himself while he was going to pray. Does it make sense? Someone is going to pray Subuh, and then all of a sudden, oh, I'm going to church, and but then, you know what? Oh, I think I will just go here and try to put a rope in my head, and then I'll see how it works. That's also there. Because as a Muslim, we are not supposed to hang ourselves. Because when you hang yourself, that's one of the worst sin in our religion. Now, the fact that Serubogo was going to pray, and then you say that he hanged himself on his way to pray, that's out of the way. Secondly, we in our culture as the Baganda, if someone hangs himself, he's supposed to be whacked, like beaten, like I don't know how many times they're supposed to be beaten. Serubogo was not done, those rituals were not done to him. He was taken down easily, wrapped in a body bag, and taken away. Secondly, the most important factor is this: Serubogo was handcuffed. He always walked with a stick, and everyone who knew him, they say he was always handcuffed on one of the arms as well as one of the legs. How can a handicapped person, literally, guys, how can he climb a tree? They said that the gentleman climbed the tree, because if you look at the tree that Serubogo climbed, literally, guys, even me, I cannot climb that tree, even if I'm not handicapped. And then he put a rope there, and then he put the rope within himself, and then, because even with the height of the tree, he must have jumped. There was nothing like a chair to give him some sort of support. So this gentleman, who is handicapped, even his walking stick was not seen anywhere that aids him in walking. Nowhere to be found. Secondly, the people who saw Serubogo's body, it had no blood or marks around his neck. Anything like blood. Now, as a person who did a postmortem, they should have realized that how come that this person that they say he was hanged, but he has no marks around the neck, with blood around the area. No blood at all. Because as a person, he was already killed, blood flow was already cut off. They hanged him thinking that, you know, because look here, if you use a rope quite well, I've used rope quite some time, and they would leave bruises. This gentleman had no bruises on his body. Like no bruises around. So, handicapped person, spiritual, very cultural, hangs himself. And on top of the icing on the cake is very vocal opposition candidate, just won the chairmanship. Now, the other thing they say, if he failed to hang himself the past 3 times that he had contested for the same position, why would he hang himself after he has become a chairman? It is like Dr. Kizza Besigye failing to win the presidency for 5 times, and then when he wins it the 6th time, he decides to hang himself. Does that make sense to you? Now, that is what the police of Uganda has said. And for the very first time, they made a record whereby they, as they have always done on NUP cases, Rita Nabukenya, Frank, Yasin Kauma, they are always quick to establish that, oh no, this is suicide. Oh no, it was his fault. It was their fault. Every NUP candidate, your fault, your fault, your fault, your fault, your fault, your fault. Every NUP person who has died, it is always their fault. And no subsequent investigations take place. If it is NRM, Katumba, Amala, oh, they start taking away everyone, all the Muslims and everyone. If it is Abirika, oh, investigations are going on. Chirumida, oh, investigations, this and this and that. They think we are stupid. So guys, those are the facts so far about Serubogo's death. Now, we are not stupid. Okay? We know Serubogo was very vocal against land grabbers. And their pants, they had started shaking in their pants. And the fact that his shoes were nowhere to be seen even around the area. Because the police said, oh, there were no fingerprints at the crime scene. Okay, if Serubogo hanged himself, how did he climb the tree? Did you get any fingerprints on the tree? Number 1. Number 2, why was the military there very fast, as well as the military was there very fast as well as the police? Contaminated the entire crime scene. Did Serubogo have any trouble with anyone who was grabbing land? Have you established that? Of course not. He hanged himself, committed suicide. Why would we look into anything else when someone has killed himself? He has committed suicide. It's not worth investigation. That, according to the police of Uganda. So it is foul play. Parting shot. If Serubogo must have been killed because of land grabbing and because of people within government, that's it. That's, for me, I don't even need to like wait for a police report or anything. This guy, this gentleman was murdered, was assassinated. It means he's not the first person that is going to be assassinated who is elected within the NUP, and he's not going to be the last. What is going to happen is NUP candidates, be very careful. People power candidates who are in parliament, councillors, mayors, everyone, be very careful with your life. Be very vigilant. That is what is going to happen. Because with the murder of the Serubogo, they have opened a new door. A lot of pressure is on government, and they are not paying attention to most of the things. And trust me, we are not going to receive any justice for Serubogo. Not in this government. Not in Museveni's regime, and not in the NRM regime. It is really sad. Let us pray to God that He welcomes Serubogo with open arms and forgive him his trespasses, and reward him abundantly and broaden his grave. And I mean, it's really sad, man. It's really, really, really sad. And the police is also playing into this particular issue. Like, they are taking us for fools. A person who was handcuffed, a person who was, limping, a wee bit lame, and you tell me that he climbed a jackfruit tree with no fingerprints of his on the tree. For those of you who have seen that picture of the gentleman hanging himself, this is really sad. Come on, guys. Absolutely ridiculous. I'm really, really, really frustrated. I'm not frustrated per se, but I didn't know that these people could go to this extent. At least just shoot someone, but do not take people for fools. And why would you even shoot someone? That the person hanged himself. I mean, a person who was going to pray, you don't even look into. It's really sad. Okay, guys, I'm really frustrated, but I'll end this episode here. Let us meet in the next one. Have a nice one. Bye.